It's time for To the Max Sports, where we talk about sports. They're just two guys, Max and Drew, in a bar talking all things sports. Well, without the bar. And the beer. Wait, why aren't we in the bar?
Hello, and welcome to the Max Sports. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for
turn your phone off.
Phone to ring.
It's time to turn your phone off.
You know, I'm a sub-teacher, and I guess there's a teacher shortage because these guys are calling me every freaking day.
What are you, subbing tonight? It's right. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
They're already calling me for tomorrow.
Oh, good.
And I just left.
Hey, I mean, look on the bright side. Well, look on the bright side for all of us. It's keeping you off the streets.
That caustic, acerbic voice you hear in the background is Brother Bob. How are we doing, Brother Bob?
I'm doing okay.
We had a show a couple weeks ago. That's for the hearing impaired edition. We did not have audio, so hopefully we have it tonight, Bob.
Yeah, well, I actually saw Stevie Wonder a couple weeks ago, and I told him my concept for a new album. And I said, dude, I just can't see it.
Just tell him to subscribe to our show. This is going to be the March Madness.
Oh, God.
NCAA.
Oh, God.
Team of 64.
Please do not blow that ever again.
Bob, guess what I did last week?
You watched a shite ton of football or basketball?
Well, I have a high roller friend who goes to Lake Charles and plays at LaBerge. And I had another friend that was going last week, and I said, hey, man, let me call my buddy up. Buddy up got me the hookup, baby. 4 nights for free at LaBerge. I was firmly ensconced in a seat from 11 in the morning to 11 at night, watching tournament play, conference basketball, betting some of the games, and it was a total blast.
Did this involve a catheter?
Did not involve a catheter.
So we got up periodically.
Okay. There were times when I was highly elated and jumped up and down to cheer my team as I was winning. There were times I wanted to take off my shoe and throw it through the big screen.
Which probably would have cost you more money than your room.
I abstained from the throwing of the shoe through the big screen. But I did get a chance to watch some great basketball. And I actually feel like I might have some knowledgeable picks. I've got some upsetters for you. Stick around, make some money. Just like God. I did in football for you. I got some upsetters. I got some sure things.
No, ever since the advent of one and done AAU and the transfer portal, every bracket, every March Madness, it is just an absolute. It's chaos. It's chaos the first 2 weekends, and then it kind of does devolve into chalk. But how many years did we go in the men's basketball tournament before we even had a 16 seed beat a 1 seed? And how many of those have we seen in the last 4 years? We had one last year.
Yeah. They're rare, but they do occasionally happen. I was reading up, and they said the second round is usually where you see the most upsets. There are some teams that got left out in the cold, refused to accept NIT play.
Good for them.
St. John's, Oklahoma, and Pittsburgh. Little
Syracuse, too, I thought.
Maybe. I don't know if they're playing or not, but I do know that St. John's, Oklahoma, and Pittsburgh declined invitations. Rick Pitino, a little pissed off. Tom Izzo, who, of course, Michigan State's in, and I expect to do well, as they do every year, even though the regular seasons are kind of iffy, said, there is a little too much analytics being brought into this. And he does have a point. His point his point's this. He's like, do we now let up on teams that we're destroying by 40 points because it could cost us a bid, later in the year? I kind of see his point there, where teams now are going to start not letting off the throttle when they're beating a team by 40 or 50 points and not putting in their second stringers because it may hurt them somewhere down the line, which kind of sucks.
I kind of almost don't see the problem. I really don't see the problem. I am generally of the mind,
And I don't either, to your point.
Now college sports a little different for me, but I am generally of the mind, if you are embarrassed by losing by 40 points, either don't play the game and put it on your schedule, or play better.
They'll take your points under advisement, Bob.
I mean, and for most of these teams that are getting blown out, they're not playing the game because they think they're going to win. They're playing the game for the paycheck. The university is throwing their kids out there to get humiliated so the university can get a paycheck. Well, because guess who isn't getting a paycheck? Right. The kids.
Right. Well, I think Izzo's point's not so much the team that they're blowing out, but the fact that, hey, now we gotta run our starters out there instead of letting our second teamers, get some basketball time in, which to their point,
if he thinks that's all analytics is, he doesn't understand analytics.
Well, they are really getting into the analytics now, these committees, when they're making their selections.
They have to, because we have, in a field of 68, you probably have 80 some odd teams that you can make a good case for. You have to find some way to split them up. And I don't expect these committee members to
I'm old school, Bob, and I don't remember analytics growing up.
Yeah, well,
I remember you put pen to paper and
oh my God,
you looked and the best freaking 64 teams were in it.
No, you're so old. You put the bird to the stone and it pecked out the stuff like on the Flintstones.
You're probably right. But let's get right into our picks, Bob. So we're going to put up a big screen real quickly later to go down to our final four. We'll show Bob's final four, and then we'll show mine. But first round, we talked about upsets. I pretty much stay consistent in the first round. I do have an upset, though, in the first round. What about yourself, Bob?
Hold on. I'm actually looking at your bracket. Yeah, I see one upset. Yeah, I mean across the whole round. I just went through one bracket. You have where the hell was it?
Well, my upset is...
you have UAB beating San Diego State. That's an upset.
Well, a bit of an upset, but I'm talking about a really big...
A shocker. You're talking about a shocker.
Which I guess UAB beating a 5-seed San Diego.
I don't know, 12 beating a 5.
So that's my one of my shockers. My other one is I have New Mexico beating Baylor. New Mexico has a pretty solid basketball team.
You actually didn't fill out your entire bracket.
I know I didn't, but don't worry about that.
Well, no, you're
looking at the Florida play-in.
Yeah,
I believe
you're picking Colorado through.
Well, no, I went ahead and changed. Yeah,
you're picking Colorado through.
Colorado through.
Okay. Well, no, it's not screw it. I'm holding your bracket and I'm holding you.
So that's the upset. I've got New Mexico beating Baylor. I've got UAB beating San Diego State. Frick it, I'm going to assume Colorado wins tonight. They upset Florida. And the only other one that's not, I went ahead and picked Creighton. But I could see
here's your big upset. You're picking Western Kentucky over Marquette.
That is another big upset.
No, that is your upset.
That's a big one.
That's your upset.
And I think New Mexico beating Baylor is a big one.
That's bigger than my upset in the first round, which is Samford beating Kansas.
That would be a big one.
That'd be a big one.
So, folks, you got our possible upsetters first round. These are the ones I may lay points on the big underdogs to cover. In the second round,
no.
I've got Auburn. I've got Auburn beating.
That's not an upset. Okay, fine. You have Auburn beating.
I've got Auburn all the way through.
Yeah, I mean, you have Auburn taking the Eastern Regional.
That's actually that's not an upset.
You have Washington State over Iowa State in the second round, moving to the regional. That's interesting. Michigan State, Alabama, Baylor, Arizona, Tennessee, South Carolina, Kansas, Purdue. You're chalk in the Midwest.
Yeah, I tell you, I got to go with Michigan State rolling up until the Sweet 16, maybe the Elite Eight, because
Yeah.
Izzo just has his teams ready.
You have Kentucky,
Come
Wisconsin,
tournament
Houston. I mean, Houston's a sexy pick for a lot of people. I don't have Michigan State getting past the first weekend. I have UNC beating Michigan State.
Do that at your own peril. So any upsets there in the second round that you would consider?
For me, I have Samford moving on into the regionals.
Wow, that's your
Because in addition to Samford beating Kansas, I also have McNeese beating Gonzaga.
interesting, Brother Bob, with the interesting picks. Well,
Yeah.
let's go to the Elite Eight.
Okay. So Houston, Kentucky.
Who do you have in the Elite Eight?
East, I have UConn, BYU.
Okay, I've got Auburn and Washington State.
Right. Down in the West, I have Alabama and Arizona. You have Michigan State and Arizona.
Yeah, so we roll with Arizona.
And then in the Midwest, you have Kansas and Tennessee.
Correct.
And I have Purdue and Creighton.
Okay.
Which, one of the storylines, they were throwing up in the graphics is the Big East only has 3 teams in this tournament, and the Mountain West has like 6.
Yeah.
And I think Creighton is battle tested. I don't sleep on Creighton. They are a number 3 seed, so it's not outside the realm of possibility. That's not an upset for them to beat Tennessee. So, and then up on the upper right, Houston and Kentucky for you in the South, and I have Houston and North Carolina State.
A lot of people are taking Kentucky as the team to run with it all.
I'm knocking Kentucky out here's my other upset. Oh, I am upset heavy. I am taking hold on. Kentucky. No, I have Kentucky through, but I have NC State taking down Kentucky.
That's why they call them March Madness, Bob.
NC State taking down Kentucky. Now, NC State at an 11 taking down a 3 is not that big. It's not that big of an upset. So, and then I have my final 4, Houston, Creighton, UConn, Arizona. Yours is Houston, Tennessee, Auburn, Arizona.
So put those up. Put your 4 picks up. This is Bob's final 4.
We will zoom in on, as soon as I can do that part. Actually, we're going to go zoom in. There we go. And we're going to pan a little bit. There we go. So here is mine.
So you've got UConn.
I have UConn, I have Arizona, I have Houston, and I have Creighton.
And for the national championship, you've got UConn and Houston.
I got UConn playing Houston, and then I have UConn winning.
Okay, so we do have one team that we agree on for the national championship, and mine, Bob.
Yes, and here is yours. And you have Auburn, Arizona, Houston, Tennessee. You have Houston making it, Auburn making it, and Houston winning.
I really have liked what I've seen from Auburn. They're a team I think can really make a run at it. They've got a lot of size. They got 2 really solid point guards, which I like, that command respect. And, I was pretty impressed with the way they played during the conference championship week. Houston kind of just fell asleep again against Iowa State and got crushed. But that's not the big dance. So we both have Houston. I've got Houston winning it all. You've got UConn winning it all.
Yeah, and Houston winning it all is a bigger stretch. There are more than a few folks that are picking UConn through it all. But at the end of the day, I was asked earlier today, as I was telling someone I was filling out my bracket, and they asked me how I do it. Do I work from the inside out, from the final 4, and work backwards to get there, or do I work from the outside in? And I work from the outside in. I just pick each of those games and see where it lays out. And for me, it laid out UConn. It laid out a UConn. Yeah.
We will see what happens. You know who's going to really be happy if Houston wins?
Mattress Mac.
Mattress Mac. He's a Houston retailer. He offers at his store. I think he bet $5 million on Houston to win it all. And if you purchase a mattress over $4,000 before the tournament starts and Houston wins it all, he'll give you your money back on the mattress. So folks, he's a great promoter.
Folks, if you're spending $4,000 on a mattress, don't go to the casino. Don't go to the sports book. And go to Amazon to buy your mattress. You can save yourself about $3,000.
Or come see me. I used to sell mattresses. We don't want to hear that, Bob. I love selling $4,000 mattresses. It's about a $350 commission.
Really? Ooh, inside the mattress business.
Hey, I told you you're going to learn something new every day on our show.
Something like that.
Well, we're going to do a short, abbreviated show. I just wanted to come in, get our picks.
You don't want to talk about baseball? Baseball season started today.
Let's talk about it next week. Because I haven't done much research on baseball.
No, baseball season started today.
I would just be winging it.
I mean, the rest of the season really starts in 2 weeks. I mean, this is to give kind of that Far East series. I think it's really interesting. I know those games were set many years ago, but they're playing in Korea, and they're playing with Shohei Ohtani, Yamamoto, Yu Darvish, and they're playing in Korea. It's like, couldn't you have just taken a ferry over across and played in Japan? But
I'll tell you what, basketball, football, the whole gamut, it's gone worldwide. There's a team, Nebraska, they're playing in the tournament. They got this, though, I'm assuming, I'm not trying to stereotype, I may be wrong, think he's Korean. This kid is a little spark plug point guard. So if you get a chance, watch Nebraska during the tournament. They're a fun team to watch.
Yeah, and then we're running down towards the back end of the NBA season. We're getting close to what's going to be the play-in games. I think for Spurs fans, let's look down the road, down I-10, and see what the Houston Rockets are doing, because they're streaking, and I think the template for what they did coming into the season might be a template for the Spurs going into next season.
Yeah. Well, when Houston got Freddie Van Fleet, it broke my heart, because he would have been a great player, great point guard for the Spurs. But, he signed with Houston. Houston's got a young team. They're exciting. You got Oklahoma. Utah can make some moves.
Yeah,
for San Antonio.
And I think for as much as San Antonio Spurs fans are disappointed with the way this season went, I would rather have seen this happen for the long-term success of Wemby and the San Antonio Spurs than us to have actually been competitive this season.
They will appreciate winning much more when they start doing it, but our priorities are, in my estimation, not getting too far off topic, definitely a point guard of high caliber.
Mm-hmm.
That's young, 27, 28. I don't think we're going to be able to draft one. We need a veteran point guard, a mid-level, mid-20s.
We need a couple, three vets.
And we need some bangers, We need a banger to take some pressure off Wembanyama.
And what I'm looking forward to, have you seen any of the Wemby HEB commercials?
I have seen a couple.
Yeah.
He's pretty funny.
The dude's not bad. Bad.
He's got some acting chops. He's better than some I've seen.
Yeah, and if you're looking for some spring football, San Antonio Titans are back on the field. I got to see a San Antonio Titans game this past weekend.
Nice. That's semi-pro football.
I forget who they played, but they played rather well. Won 38-18. So if you're looking for something to do, week from Saturday, San Antonio area, they play at the Brooks Collegiate Academy. Tickets are reasonable. It's something to do on a Saturday night.
And then I think we have the Brahmas coming up.
Brahmas coming back up. XFL, USFL, now the UFL.
Yeah, UFL.
And so the Brahmas are back. And
a lot of fun, exciting stuff. NFL draft coming up. Baseball season starting.
Oh yeah, let's talk NFL. Let's talk Cowboys. Did you see that Dak restructured his contract?
Yeah.
He saved the Cowboys in salary cap a whole whopping $4 million, which the crazy thing is, you could get yourself 3 Russell Wilsons with that.
Yeah. Jerry Jones gets pedicures with $4 million.
A whole $4 million. Hey, Cowboys fans, I've told it to you before. You're in the same position next year at this time that you are this year. Nothing is changing. Yeah. I am sorry. Get ready for more disappointment.
Meet the old boss, same as the old boss when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys.
So, yeah.
Well, having said that, folks, we'll do a little more research, talk about a lot more stuff. Got a great, exciting couple of weeks and months coming up. Until then, we'll come back with some great, I guess the championship will be decided a week from this Monday, right?
The NCAA?
Yeah.
No. 2 weeks from this Monday.
2 weeks from this Monday.
We have our first and second rounds, we have our regionals, and we have our Final Four. So
Good stuff.
So we'll see you next week. We will be crying. One of us will be crying over our brackets are already. I am thinking it's not going to be me, but we will see.
Take my picks, guaranteed.
Yeah, okay.
Until next week, OH.
Peace out.
Hi-oh.